record.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. As soon as I hit record, my phone went off as a messenger, and I usually turn my phone off, and it's
Ah,
nothing. Okay.
mhm.
So
You're a little blurry, Bill. What's going on?
I moved. I went like this,
Oh,
and my camera has got one of those adjust things. So then when I come back,
oh,
if I
so
sit long enough, it should clear up, I would think.
okay. If not, we'll be looking at a clear background and a blurry Bill.
It'll clear up. There, I think got a little better, right? Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's the color of the shirt. That's what. No.
Really? That's what it
Um, it's
is.
Tuesday.
It is. It's the last day of 2024.
Yep, it's New Year's Eve.
It is.
Yeah. Is that good?
It is. I actually was reflecting this morning that the door to 2024 is slowly coming to a close, and the door to 2025 is opening, and new opportunities are available for so much abundance in all things. And I'm excited.
Yeah, it's funny because before we hit record, again, we always have a small conversation. This one was actually a little bit longer, and I was saying things about different things that didn't make me feel good.
Mhm.
Now, I wasn't saying them not to feel good or to feel good. I was saying them as more of a getting it off my chest type thing and realizing why they didn't feel good. And, it came down to, well, they were lessons that I'm learning, lessons that will make me better in 2025. And because I got them off my chest, because we talked about them a little bit, and because I realized what I was really doing, I feel excited about 2025. I mean, I already was excited, but I feel even more excited now. So, and
Absolutely.
I'm not even sure why I segmented into that. Um, it'll come back to me.
It will. But what I got out of our pre-convo to the current convo was about the lessons learned from the things that we've observed throughout the year, throughout life, throughout experiences. And I think that that in itself gives you a moment of pause to reflect and to look forward towards incorporating things that you know will work out for your benefit as well as the benefit of others, especially on the journey that we're on. And I'll
Well,
pause there because I know you had your thought.
well, and I know now why I segmented into it. I spent 5 or 10 minutes talking about things that I'm lessons that I'm learning,
Mhm.
and didn't really talk about what made me feel good about that particular thing that the we were at a master class, or actually we signed up for the same master class. We
Mhm.
were both on the same master class, and I was talking about why I felt like I didn't get a lot out of it, basically. But I did
Mhm.
get something out of it, and I need to spend more time on reflecting or thinking about what I did get out of it. And one of the things that was said in that was was is it, are you going to make 2025 the same as 2024? Or are you
Right.
really going to do something about it? Are you going to do something about your heart's desires? Are you going to do something about what you really want? Or are you just going to keep talking about how you want it? And into the end of 2025, we'll be having the same conversation. I know for me, 2024 was nothing like 2023. And I will say completely different. I grew a lot in
Mhm.
2023. I've become just more confident in being able to speak about things that I'm passionate about. So 2024 was completely different than 2023, and 2025 is even going to be more magnificent, simply because I've made that decision. I'm going to invest in myself. no matter how I have to do that, whether it's financially or time or whatever it is, I'm going to invest in myself to just become a better and better version of myself. And on the way, be able to inspire other people to become the best version of them. So I guess the question right now for everybody about what I learned yesterday, are you going to be the same at the end of 2025 as you are today at the end of 2024?
Absolutely. And I think it's important to take time, not just on the last day of the year or on a specific date, holiday or birthday or whatever. I think it's important to take time to reflect on um, the accomplishments, successes, the wins that you've had for whatever period of time you want to gauge that for. And so if you're taking time to reflect on the current year that we are experiencing the last day of, to reflect on what you've been able to accomplish and where you've grown, and also acknowledging areas of your life that you still need to grow on, so that when you take that into the next phase of your journey, you're able to make changes and adjustments and do things differently if the way you've been doing things now isn't quite working.
Yeah, and here's the thing, when you reflect on 2024, it doesn't mean you haven't grown just because your bank account isn't any bigger. It
Right.
doesn't mean you haven't grown because you're still in the same, what you consider dead end job. It doesn't mean you haven't grown because you wanted to be this magnificent coach and be out in the world speaking on stages and talking to people, and yet you still haven't been able to do that yet. Those things don't mean you haven't grown. So when you start to reflect, don't spend your time thinking, golly, 2024 sucks because at the end of 2023, I only had this much money in my bank account. And now I still have the same or less because of the economy and that damn person running the government. And, you could do that and you're going to feel terrible and you're not going to get any satisfaction out of it. Or you can look at the things that you did in 2024 that were beneficial for you that are actually maybe it's a snail's pace. I don't know. Or I think it's Mike Dooley calls them baby steps, but every step forward is a step forward. So congratulate yourself on there. Go to the Go Me Club and become a member of Celebrating Yourself, celebrating even the smallest of things that you have done that helped you grow. And then
Mhm.
intend for 2025 to take even bigger steps and then follow through on it.
Absolutely. Make your life deliberate intention to feel good. And it really does start with just taking the very first step. And for some, there are some that have felt um, hopeless, helpless, and unable to move forward, both literally and figuratively. And one day they wake up and they decide, today I'm going to get out of bed because I've been in this bed for the last 3 months and I haven't wanted to do anything. And they decide that the time is now because they've waited. And for me, I think that anytime that you choose to move forward is the right time, and you're always going to be doing the right thing for you at the right time, and you're going to come across the right things, the right people, the right circumstances and situations that align with what you're ready to accept and receive. So you do have to um, be willing and open to receive the things that you want. And that comes with shifting your perception of what you think of yourself. And so if you have a negative self view and you think that you're not worthy of experiencing the love and the prosperity and the abundance and the joy that is available to you as a birthright, then you're not going to have that. And, conversely to that, if you feel that you've given enough of your time to things that don't serve you and that have been a waste of your time, and you decide to make a change, then everything that is your birthright will become available to you, either at a lightning speed or at a slower pace, depending on what you are ready to accept. And so there's nothing wrong either way. Some of us like things now, and so we make changes now. We move pretty quickly, and we still stumble across the way. We still fall down, and we still, have those moments. And and then there are others of us that like to do things slowly. We want to make sure that we know what we're doing, that we're not um, making the same mistakes as before, but we're working towards a better future, a better feeling, a better experience. And that comes with deciding to actually do something in the first place.
Yeah, and you can take baby steps or you can take quantum leaps. And it really comes down to believing and then, being ready to receive, what your desire actually is. I mean, if we're talking about the fact, if we're talking about something that we haven't yet let
Mhm.
um, in a way that is negative, and usually if you're talking about it, more than likely you're talking about it because you haven't received it yet. That's when we mostly talk about it. We don't start saying, well, I wanted and I believed I was going to make $10,000 a month, but I only made $8,000 a month. Well, you're talking about the lack and not
Right.
the actual desire. So that's why that third step of law of attraction actually becomes more difficult because you're not ready for it. You're not ready to let it in, which in reality, you haven't done step two either, which is believe it. Because if you truly believed it, you just wouldn't even think about it anymore. You just know it's there and go on with your life. So that's how you make quantum leaps. Uh, but if you're just going to make the baby steps, which is fantastic, it's by listening to things like these podcasts. It's by joining groups where you can be around the like-minded individuals that will keep you on track in the sense of where your mind is, the mindset thing again, and how you're speaking the words and how you're and how those words are making you feel. So even that is growing. I don't care if you're in a group and you're just listening to podcasts by yourself. You're still growing, whether you're growing better than you were the day before you listened to that podcast or before you went to that group. Even if you didn't turn on your camera, you didn't say a word, you're taking it in and you're absorbing more and more and more. That's baby steps.
Mhm.
And eventually you'll just start taking bigger and bigger steps. And the next thing you know, you'll have your own podcast. You'll be at the perfect job for you. You'll have the perfect amount of abundance in your life. That's not necessarily cash. It's abundance, and abundance is so many different things. Uh, all of that will be in your life, and you turn around and you say, wow, when did this happen? I don't remember what I did. What did I do to make this happen? Well, you took baby steps. You listened. You participated. You got around other people. And sooner or later, something clicked and you made a quantum leap without even knowing it.
You've said so many powerful things, Bill, because one thing that I've learned is that um, God, source, the universe will give you what you're open to receive and what you feel you're worthy of. And so, um, everything that I've learned thus far about source and how we're able to achieve or manifest or experience those things that we are get excited about when we think about it or when we speak about it to others. When you're in a high vibration and you're wide open to receive all these things that you're wanting in your life, then they appear. They appear um, almost as if by magic. And it's been through the work that you've been doing, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, however it is that you're functioning, because this is all, this is not a cookie cutter thing where what applies to one applies to all, and it's the same thing for everyone. Everybody operates with different thoughts, different feelings about certain things. Um, And if we're deciding to have an experience that feels good, that's a start in itself. And so once you make that decision, no matter what is going on around you, that you're going to feel good and have a good experience, and you do everything that is aligned with wanting that experience, then anything that happens around you, other people's behavior, what's going on in the economy, what the government is doing or not doing, what politicians are doing or not doing, who's doing what the news is saying, none of that will matter because you're in a high vibrational state to receive the things that make you feel good. And believe it or not, that applies to even the people that are doing things that are not so good, but they're in the vibration of what they want. And even they get the things that they want, even if we don't agree with that. So,
There are not two people anywhere that have the same perception of any one thing. It may be extremely similar. It may, I mean, it may look in black and white like their perception is exactly the same, but it's not. It's just like, my wife and I can look at two different colors of a shirt, and for me, well, like your hoodie or whatever you're wearing right now, to me that's lavender. To you, it might be purple. You know,
or periwinkle.
see, there's no. The perception is based on our programming, and our programming and our mindset is what everything we are dealing with in our life is what is how our perception has evolved. But you were as you were talking, I
Mhm.
and the I was thinking about yesterday's master class, and there was another thing that just jumped out on me from yesterday that I felt like was very relevant in all our conversations, and that was the self-love part that Lisa Nichols did. Uh-oh, they may know what podcast or what masterclass I'm talking about, but it doesn't matter. It was my perception of the masterclass, and
Mhm.
the self-love part was very, very important. And I think we probably need to do a podcast on self-love here in the very near future because it is extremely important. Because if you don't think you're worthy, if you don't
Right.
think you're worth what you're shooting for, well, the universe is going to say your wish is my command. You're not worth it, so I'm not going to give it to you,
Right.
So, yeah,
Right.
self-love. And that was a very small portion in relationship to the master class yesterday, but
Mhm.
it was very, very a very important subject and very vital when it comes to manifestation. Even though we don't name it as one of the three-step processes, you have to have self-love. You have to be worthy. You have to feel worthy. Don't just say you're worthy, but you need to feel worthy. So, see,
Absolutely.
the more we talk, the more I got out of yesterday. What a fantastic master class, you know?
Absolutely. There was definitely a lot of value with that master class. And that's with anything that we do. There are going to be things I'm sure that people who are listening to us speak that they will find relevant and useful and valuable.
And you could
And
dwell on that, and it won't be good.
correct. Correct. Or you'll find everything that's wrong. You'll find that Andrea was wearing the wrong shade of purple. Bill, was blurry for a period of time. And how could we post a video with a blurry face? But that's what makes it fun because we're just being real. So you take from it what is of value and what means something to you. And everything else, just move on and go on your merry way and do your thing. And if you have um positive feedback to give, I welcome that. I say give that positive feedback because that creates a dialogue. It creates interaction and communication with our listeners. And so if you do find value or if you have valuable feedback to give, I say bring it
Or if you have a subject matter you'd
that
like
you'd
us to
like
speak
to.
on. Yeah.
Yep.
Because we're just flying by the seat of our pants when it comes down to what do we talk about each day. I mean, now I said let's talk about self-love one of these days, and we will. Could
Mhm.
probably won't be tomorrow because tomorrow's New Year's Day, and most people stay up late on New Year's Eve, and I'm not even sure if we're going to meet at 8:30 tomorrow morning. But
I
you
mean,
know.
I wasn't planning on breaking our tradition, Bill. We broke it. We didn't do anything for a good portion of last week because of the holidays. So it is my birthday tomorrow, but and I'll be 48, but I'm excited about it. And for the first time, I want to celebrate it in a different kind of way because I'm not a I do want a surprise birthday party at one of these years. I just want it. But that's just me because I like surprises. But getting back to the real stuff, um,
Well, that is
I just
real. That's a desire.
yes. But I'm excited about how far I've come in just this year alone, but how far I've come in the last 48 years of my life. Um, and I won't go into any detail whatsoever, but I did experience yesterday for a brief moment, it probably was about, I'll say 30 minutes to an hour of discomfort over something that I saw that made me extremely uneasy. And if I would have allowed this particular thing to take me down a dark path I could have easily gone down, and I had to switch gears and remind myself that I'm in a safe place, that that whatever this thing that brought up those not so good memories of the past was just that. It was a memory from the past that is no longer occurring in my life, and that I want to wish health and well-being to um, this particular thing in my life that didn't feel so good, and that I've come a long way in spite of whatever experiences I may have had as a younger version of myself. And for that, I am grateful. And for that, I celebrate my life because for many years, I didn't celebrate my life. I was looking for ways out of my life. And so to be excited to be alive in this day, in this age, to have so much to be grateful for my three beautiful children, my two beautiful grandchildren, my husband, the beautiful friendships that I've had that are some are expand decades, others are very new, others are so new, but they feel like I've known them for eons. And it feels so good to be alive today. And I want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate the joys of my life. I want to celebrate everything that I've learned um, through the experiences, even those that made me uncomfortable. I want to celebrate the fact that I can actually sit in front of this camera and speak with confidence, with certainty, with love, with compassion, with joy and happiness. And I want to celebrate all those good things because that supersedes anything that may not have gone according to what I thought was a good thing.
And
So
that was very well said, but you left one thing out. And that's that life insurance policy. You're 1 year closer to that 120 years old that you have to be to actually max out that whole life insurance policy that you bought. So,
thanks, Bill. I love that. See, now that was an important part of it.
yeah.
And so I just again, I am truly, sincerely grateful for my life. I am breathing, I can speak, I can see. There's a fur ball back there. She's 5 pounds of fur in a big old bed that's way too big. There's probably six of her can fit in there. Um, I'm talking to the amazing and incredible Bill Collum. Okay. There is so much to be grateful for. I have this beautiful office, that you can see. And so I don't have to have a green screen, but sometimes I will have a green screen just because I want to have new screens behind me, as if I'm changing offices all the time. Um, but literally, there's just so much to be grateful. It was really foggy this morning over here in
Here
North
too.
Carolina,
Yeah.
and the sun is peering out, and I'm so grateful for that. Like, that's magic. I'm
But
going to go for a walk a little bit later on. I'm
yeah,
grateful that I have my feet that I can walk.
yeah. The list of things to be grateful for,
Is innumerable.
there's not enough ink in our pen, to
Hmm.
write it all down. But yeah, just I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, that the things to be grateful for. I do know that I got one big thing out of what you said. There was a lot of what you said, but I mean the whole premise of what you said was, we'll be on tomorrow. Wishing you all a happy, a brand new 2025. So yeah, um, and that's what I got out of that. Besides the other good stuff,
I
that
love it.
there's no better way to start 2025 than to try uh, to bring some type of inspiration to the people that actually watch our videos. And like I think I said this yesterday, I don't know if I said it on camera. We are moving like lightning. I mean, now, I mean, we've got like 15 people, I think it is now, following
I
our
love it.
page. So yeah. And
I
watching
love
the
it.
video, whether they watch the whole thing or not, you can't tell, or at least I can't tell, but somebody's getting some substance or getting something out of it, which makes me feel just another thing to be grateful for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And want to take this time as well to thank those of you, all 15 of you, 25, 30. We're going to be, we're growing, we're expanding. So thank you so much for those of you that are listening. And for those of you that find value in what Bill and I discuss every day, almost every day, share this video with someone that you think will gain value from something we've said from this video or any other video. Um, Subscribe to our channel so that we can continue to grow and expand and share the inspiration and impact that Bill and I have set out to share with the world. We thank you deeply from the bottom of our hearts and souls for just being a part of our journey to impact uh, the world and to impact and support each other on this journey. This is so much to be grateful for. Gosh, I don't
Yeah.
think there's enough time for a Zoom
You,
to talk about all the things I'm grateful for.
in just this little last couple minutes, I was actually reflecting. Uh,
Hmm.
when I was 10 years old, let's say, I would never have imagined living in a home where I could look out my window and see a lake. I
Mm.
never would have imagined living without a house basically right up next to you rather than the half an acre that I have. Uh, and this isn't the first house that I've had that's a half an acre or more. You know, I would have never thought that I could have taken one of the bedrooms and made it an office. My last house, I actually had an office in it. And so probably if I do decide to ever get another house, now it has to have the lake and the office. Uh, but I look back and I think about how far I've come. I mean, 10 years ago, I never would have thought that I would have a green screen behind me and then I'd be on camera.
Mhm.
I just when you really, really kind of, and I'm not even going to say dissect because you don't have to dissect it. By the way, I skipped class when we dissected a frog back in high school in the biology class. I just couldn't do it. I took the fail on that day rather than go. Just mom, mom, I ditched class that day.
You
Uh,
did not want to cut open a frog.
yeah, with all that formaldehyde and all that good stuff. I know a lot of people were anxious to do it. It wasn't me. Uh, I still passed the class. I just didn't pass that particular part. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to really dissect your life to see all the growth that you've had, the magnitude of what life is really about, and just how fabulous it is. So that's our
Definitely.
9:30. I didn't have an alarm on, but you'd think I do. I look up at my clock. It's exactly 9:30 right now. Uh, hope everybody will be safe tonight on New Year's. Don't do too much partying. Uh, be thoughtful of the animals that live in the neighborhood around you with all the fireworks and shooting of the guns and things of that nature. Just be thoughtful and be safe. And we will be back next year.
Yes, we will. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to grab life by the horns and just ride with it.
Yep. There you go. Did I hit record? Yep, I did.
We're gonna one of
How
these
can they
days we're
sub
gonna have a blooper reel,
Yeah, how can they subscribe to this if I don't hit record, right?
right? Oh
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. So, well,
Anyways,
okay. I used to have it on automatic record, but then I wanted the opportunity for us to have our little conversations before it started, and so
mhm,
I stopped that. And
yep.
so now I actually have to think about what I'm doing. So I don't.
Well, that's part of being thoughtful, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, be safe.
Yes,
Uh,
Happy New Year to everyone. Happy pre-New Year, even though it's already a new year, I think in Australia.
Already, yeah, a few hours ago.
Yes.
Actually, what is it? They're 20 they're 12, they're about 16 hours ahead of us, I think, in parts of
Okay.
Australia. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe they're getting ready to go into the new year in the next couple of, or are they already
I
next in
think
the
they're
next
already
step?
in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Well,
and
this
if you're
has been a
still
great
up,
conversation.
yeah, if you're still awake and you're still up and you're going to watch this tonight, don't forget to subscribe and hit like on our
Absolutely. All right, Bill, this has been another incredible, amazing conversation.
Well,
See you tomorrow.
yeah, if you notice, she did her salute already, so that's
Yeah,
sayonara. Bye bye.
yeah. Uh, Toodaloo, darlings.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.